Hey guys, welcome to this week's Survivor Chat. It's a supersized bonus episode.
2-hour show. The Millennials versus the Jenks.
Yeah.
And it's episode 10.
So let's get right into it. Last time, they voted out Tails, and there was that huge blow up at Tribal, like, he stole the food. Adam knew about it. Adam stole the food.
All right, so Adam's trying to smooth things over. He apologizes.
Jay was also dragged into this. So he's like, all right, guys, here's the food that I dug up. Don't hate me.
Here's my reparations.
Yeah.
All right, so now Chris and Brett, they're kind of a tight duo.
They're kind of a tight trio with Sunday. And they're like, we need to get rid of Jessica. There's still this huge thing between Chris and Jessica because of when she turned on them and took out Santa.
Paul. All right, so Hannah is in love with Ken.
Oh my god. When she was talking about flirting with Ken, that was hilarious. Go get it, Hannah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they actually like got together?
That would be insane. All right, so Will decides, I think I want to work with Zeke now.
Yeah, because he was pretty close with Taylor and Jay before, and now it's just like, I don't know if I can roll with that crew.
So he wants to get Zeke's trust, so he tells Zeke that Jay has an idol.
And then Zeke goes and tells everyone.
I'm surprised Zeke didn't come up to Jay and be like, Jay has an idol.
Yeah.
Jay. All right, so
It was very close to being that.
reward challenge time. It's,
All right.
It's the old water obstacle course, but then you have to solve that block puzzle to make
It was
sure.
kind of like a vertical
Rubik's Cube, but a single.
It was a Rubik's row
It was a
column. Rubik's column.
Rubik's Bachelor.
Okay.
All right, so the reward, you say? Oh, what? It's a floating pizza restaurant?
Oh, hell yeah.
I see you eating them wings and pizza and pop for Will and beer.
Yes. So this challenge, they had 2 teams of 5, which means that one person was sitting out.
And they got nothing. And that was
Say F you.
Jay. Well,
But before the challenge started, David was like, guys, I totally understand if you want me to sit out, because he didn't want to like drag a
my
team
swimming
down.
skills are not that great.
David, and everyone was like, no, you compete. You draw.
believe in yourself.
You draw to be on a team.
Well, he was. He was on the Ken, Jessica, Chris, and Will team.
That's right. And the other team was Brett, Zeke, Sunday, Hannah, and Adam.
All right.
So like you said, Jay was sitting out.
All right. The Ken, Jessica, Chris, and David and Will team were leading in the beginning, but the other team, they made a huge ass comeback to win.
Yeah.
That was
Chris
that
and
was a
David
tough
were really
one.
struggling with their Rubik's column, and they just couldn't pull it out for their team. So the other team won.
Oh my god! And of course, David blamed himself.
David, it wasn't your fault.
It was a team loss.
All right, so let's talk about this pizza reward.
Brett was kind of douchey at the floating pizzeria.
Yeah, I mean, this thing was really close to Ken.
Don't worry about the guys over there. I'm drinking.
Pizza!
You know who he reminds me of? Barney from The Simpsons.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Sitting in Moe's Tavern.
Yeah, so Hannah was just like, shh, shh, shh. We don't want everyone to hear.
Yes. But the real reward at the pizzeria was letters from home.
What? That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Adam got a letter from his mom.
I was super emotional when he was reading
cried.
the letter. Oh my god.
I cried. I was
When
just
he was like, she went to the ballet. That's so good. I was like,
know,
that is good.
I know. Oh my god, I'm so emotionally invested in this season.
And Zeke with the paw print from the dog.
Maverick, wasn't it? Or,
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But it was very nice. I'm not sure if they told the others that they got letters from
I
home.
don't think they did.
I guess they didn't want people to be pissed.
David has grown so much this season. I mean, he has come light years in life.
Yeah,
Not only
he was
the game.
He was talking to Ken about it, and Ken was like, "Yo, we're gonna support you. You're my bro." And I was like, "Oh my god."
That is another tight trio. It's a David, Ken, Jessica trio.
Well, they got that whole thing going now too, because David used his idol in the past to help Jessica when she was like about to walk out. So
yeah, and then like she thanked Ken. All right.
I still don't really understand that, but okay.
All right, so she knows that Chris is coming for her.
Yeah. So they're like, you know what? Maybe we're going to have to vote out Chris. We're going to have to see what happens with this immunity challenge.
Exactly. So at the immunity challenge, it's an endurance. You have to balance on a beam while holding up a statue with a stick.
All right.
And all the while moving back on a thinner beam, holding out a longer portion of the stick, which is infinitely harder.
Yeah, and this was cool too because the statue could either fall forward or backwards. So you really had to focus.
That's cool.
Well, it's cool. I don't know.
That's cruel.
It makes it more difficult. It's interesting to watch.
That's cruel. All right, so Hannah's out first.
Yeah. And then at one point they were just dropping like flies.
All right, so the final four were Adam, Jessica, Zeke, and David, and it came down to Zeke versus David. It really looked like Zeke was going to win.
No, it looked like David was going to win. He was super solid, and Zeke was like, and then the win came, and David was like, oh no. And he was able to hold on. Zeke fell, and David won.
All right.
Oh my God, David!
We're totally rooting for David. All right, so Jay is worried.
He's got this huge target on his back now. He feels like he's at the bottom, but, he's hearing, like, maybe it could be Jessica or something.
Yeah. So Zeke tells David that Chris is targeting Jessica.
Mm-hmm. So this, David takes this information and brings it directly to Jessica. Now she heard for sure, like, they are coming after her. So they're like, we got to go for Chris. We got to do it.
So at Tribal, Jay's on the outs.
Not really.
All right.
So then they were talking about, voting blocks versus alliances again, and Hannah comes out with trust clusters.
If my head could explode right now, it would. Because Jeff tells Hannah, you're fantastic.
Well, because he starts using it. He's asking people about it, and she's just like, I can't believe that you're using this word that I just came up with.
And she's all like,
yeah, oh my God, it was hilarious. I love it.
Forget about Ken. I want Jeff now.
It was really funny.
All right, well, Jessica, Jay, and Adam are all worried.
They all have their reasons to be worried. Mm-hmm. But supposedly, everybody in this tribal is feeling really confident with what's going to happen with this vote. They're all like 100% sure that they know what's going to happen.
And it's time for the vote. And sure enough, Chris is blindsided.
Blindsided. Oh, blindsided home.
Yeah, he was like, hey, sooner to Zeke.
He's like, sooner.
Yeah. No.
Damn. I don't know.
All right.
It was the football thing.
Yeah, it's the football thing. All right.
So yeah, Chris is out.
Now this is the bonus part. This is like a whole nother episode because it was a whole nother episode.
Right.
Brett is sucking up to Zeke.
Yeah, Chris is gone now.
Back
he's
at
like
the camp.
He's like, we were gonna have to get rid of him at some point anyway because he would have won.
Hey, it's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna work together, right? So David,
he's trying to get in with Brett and Sunday too. Yeah. So he's trying to build some trust with them.
He's calling out Zeke.
Yeah, and he's like, who's the strongest player here now? Zeke. Oh no, David, don't!
But Brett just aligns with Zeke.
So Brett tells Zeke what David said, and now Zeke is like, all right, David's got to go. No, guys, stop it!
So now Hannah is very confused because she's in an alliance with both David and Zeke.
Well, she's been working with Zeke this whole time, but she feels like this bond with David because they both, struggle with some of the same things. So she's like, maybe I should work with him. I don't know. We'll come back to that.
All right, well, it's time for the reward. It's 3 teams of 3. This was freaking crazy.
I loved it. It was so weird.
They tie you up like a damn snake, and you have to go.
You can't really use your arms or your legs.
You can't use anything except your face, pretty much. So you're going through this like a snake. I was getting like human centipede vibes the entire time.
I was not thinking that at all.
Really weird.
Hell no, you know what that is, right? No.
It's really weird.
No. Okay, but anyway, they were like slithering through and they had to go like up these hills. It was crazy.
And at the end is a snake puzzle. Once everybody does the freaky deaky
everyone's
section,
clothes were falling off. There was a lot of ass crack out in the open.
Yeah. So once you do that, you can untie your bonds and work on the snake puzzle.
Right.
But this was different than the previous episode where the person who got the odd rock didn't win anything, 0% chance of winning. This one, if you got the odd rock out, you had 100% chance of winning.
You were automatically going on that beautiful picnic with the chopper tour.
Yeah.
So good for you. And guess who it was? It was David.
Yes.
All right, let's quickly talk about the teams here. One team, we've got Hannah, Jessica, Adam.
Then Will, Ken, and Jay.
And then Sunday, Zeke, and Brett.
So the team that was leading was Will, Ken, and Jay.
They freaking blew through that. They were like,
yeah. Really, really weird.
Yeah.
But Brett, Sunday, and Zeke had a huge comeback.
They were better at the snake
and they
puzzle.
won. Yeah, the snake.
I like that 3D snake puzzle.
That was pretty
Even
cool.
though I don't like
You
snakes.
hate snakes.
But that was a cool puzzle.
That's probably the number one thing besides not eating and drinking that's keeping you from Survivor. Snakes.
Sure.
All right.
There's a lot of things, but anyway.
So they're at the reward, and of course the beers are flowing.
Yeah,
And
and
Zeke.
Brett and Zeke are like drinking buddies now. It's the second challenge in a row they're together.
So Barney or Brett says, "Hey, guess what, Zeke? I'm gay."
What? So Zeke is like, wow, like you opened up to me. That's cool. And it was kind of cool to see like the generational differences there.
I mean, Zeke was like, I don't care. I'm gay. I came out at like 15, whatever. But like, times were different, 30 years ago.
Brett has had to hide that.
Yeah.
So good for him.
So it was no big deal hiding it on Survivor because that's how he pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like,
and then they're like, all right, back to the game.
Let's get David out.
No!
Don't do it.
No! All right, so then they come back from the reward. Hannah immediately pulls David aside. Mm-hmm. She's made her decision.
Yeah, she's like, David, they're after you.
And he's like, oh no, I blew up my game.
And she's like, I know you have this idol. And he's like, listen, this idol is for me and you. I love that.
It was hilarious. Oh my god.
David's the
for
best.
For me and you only.
Yeah.
It was great.
All right, so it's time for the immunity challenge.
But basically she's saying, I choose you, Pikachu. Like, when it comes down to it, I'm sticking with you over Zeke.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The immunity challenge was, again, pretty weird.
This was cool.
They're behind these cage doors. Mm-hmm. But it's just the door. There's no other part of the cage.
Okay.
They have to untie the stick that goes through a maze that you have to do without looking at it.
Oh, man.
That's freaking hard.
I loved it. And the whole time, Jeff could see, how everybody was doing because they had the
line on there.
Path with a different color.
Because it's not enough for Jeff to just look and see, hey, this one...
Well, he needs to see what's going on quickly.
Okay.
And that's for the viewers, too.
Yeah. Okay. So Jay finished the maze first. Mm-hmm. He busted through it pretty quickly.
So he moved on to the slide puzzle. Everybody else was still working on the maze.
And he finished the freaking slide puzzle before anybody busted out of their cage door.
What? I was not expecting that at all.
Wow.
Good for you, Jay.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So he won immunity.
And Jeff was just like, that's what we call a blowout.
It was a blowout. Wow.
It
Good
was.
For him. So David is getting his alliance to vote Zeke out.
He's trying to, but Adam's kind of like shaky about it. Yeah. Adam's shaky about it.
All right. Zeke is coming to realize after talking to Hannah that he can't trust her. Mm-hmm. And he no longer wants to get David out. He wants to get Hannah out.
Oh, shit!
Right?
So then
She's gotta go.
Hannah's telling David, like, I feel like it's gonna be me that they're coming after. Like, you might need to use the idol on me. And he's just like, oh, no, you're just being neurotic. Like, it's fine. They're not after you.
Yeah.
All right, so then it's time for Tribal.
There's a whole lot of whispering going on.
There was a lot going on here.
Adam and Hannah are whispering.
Yeah.
Brett got upset. He's all like,
he doesn't want to hear about trust clusters. He doesn't want to hear about David and his anxiety and crying. Like, freaking Brett,
Then he
what
starts
are you doing?
attacking David, like making fun of him.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm upset.
Are you gonna cry?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Then somebody pulls out a stick to the plan. Oh, shit.
I think Sunday did. Or like, no. Will said it to Sunday or Sunday said it to Will. I don't know.
But
Then they were
Hannah
saying...
says, what's the plan? And they were like...
Sunday says, Ken? Well, she's not going to say, it's you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other people heard that.
Yeah.
So then it's time for the vote, and a huge bug attacks Taylor in the jury section.
He could barely pull that thing off. He had like kung fu grip on him.
What did Taylor do to his hair?
Oh my God, it was terrible.
Let's just leave it there. Okay, so then it's time to reveal the vote. But first, David's like, I
got something to say.
Yeah. And then he's about to play it, and Adam is like, I heard them whispering over here that they're voting for Ken. So David's like, I'm gonna play it for Ken.
Oh, David, why didn't you stick to the plan?
I'm curious who he was planning on playing it for. Like, if he would have done something different if Adam didn't say that.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Well, he did say the idol was only for him or Hannah.
I don't know.
All right, so it ends up being a tied vote, 5-5. 5 votes for Zeke, 5 votes for Hannah.
So that idol was a waste.
Yes.
Okay. So then, just going by the rules here, it's time for a revote. Guess what? It's still tied.
Wow.
So then, they have the opportunity to make a unanimous decision. If they can choose between Hannah and Zeke, that person, will go home. Everybody else can chill.
Well, they had a spirited discussion, but they could not.
They're bringing up some old shit, too.
Yeah.
It was all...
But we didn't mention when they had the revote, Jessica was sweating up a storm.
She was getting very close to voting out Hannah because she did not want to draw rocks.
Yeah. So Hannah looks over to her and is like, you better vote Zeke. You better not vote me.
And Jessica's like, yeah.
Yeah, so they end up going to rocks, and of course it's freaking Jessica.
Oh, man.
Boy, was she pissed.
Yeah, and Brett, again, with the little comments. He's like, I told you I didn't want to go to rocks, but David did.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
So, you know that Jessica has the legacy, so she has to will it to somebody. I guess, I was expecting her to do it,
No, they want it to be a secret. They don't want it to be, known who has it.
Yeah, so she writes a little note to Ken, is like, I love you.
I think she's just supposed to put his name on there. It looked like they had lines so that you could put the legacy.
She was writing for a while.
She hasn't written anything in a long time other than votes.
Oh. Yeah. So she, maybe the thing was out of ink.
I don't know. She passed it on to Ken. Next time is crazy. Will wants to work with David, potentially. And the friggin' loved ones show up. And Adam might steal it from someone.
Oh! All right, it better not be David. He really needs that.
Adam really needs it, too.
Yeah.
He needs to hear about his mom. All right, but anyway, it's going to be crazy. So let us know what you guys thought in the comments.
And until next time,
much love.
Edit.